Hi, welcome back to Velo News TV. I'm Neil Rogers at the start of Stage 6 of the Tour of Missouri with HealthNet Maxxis Team Director Jeff Corbett. Jeff, there's been some talk about some changes with the HealthNet team going into 2008. I'm curious to get your perspective. This is a team that's won the NRC title 4 years in a row, individual title twice in the last 3 years with Scott Moninger and Rory Sutherland. Talk a little bit about the changes within the team and your role as well.
My role is probably the biggest change affecting the team next year, but we've got capable hands stepping in to take my place. Mike Tamayo's been working with the team already and proven this year that he can guide this team to wins at Taiwan, at Mount Hood, at Charlotte, several races. So Gila, we know he can handle it. So he'll be taking the reins from me next year. I'll be stepping back to a minor role and a background role with the team. As far as on the road, you're going to see a lot of similarities. We feel like we've really kept our core intact. We've got some new young talent coming in. We won't be announcing our roster until it's complete, but you can be assured that most of our hitters are back.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, obviously there's been a lot of attention paid to Johan Bernil, the end of the Discovery Channel era. He's the most successful team director at the Pro Tour level, but you could argue that in this decade you've been the most successful team director at the national level. Johan's leaving because their sponsors pulling out. Talk to us about, I mean, obviously it's different with HealthNet, why you're making this move.
It was basically more personal than anything. Time for a little variety, a little change. I've been doing this for a while now, and it's a tough job. It takes its toll on you between the travel and the hours and everything else. I just wanted to try something different. I think there's plenty of doors in the cycling world that'll still be open to me if I find that I want to come back and do something different a year from now or 2 years from now, and I certainly can keep a foot in it with HealthNet. It's not a decision about looking for a different program or anything like that, or switching. My allegiance is still to HealthNet, and I'll still be part of the program, albeit a smaller role.
And obviously, I mean, it's not just the HealthNet program. Your history in the sport goes back to the 7-Up Maxxis team, and even was a Colorado Cyclist even before that. So, I mean, it's been a long legacy. Did any of it have, I mean, obviously a lot of time on the road, was any of it having to do with nothing left to prove in the U.S.? I mean, having won the team title 4 years in a row?
A little bit. There wasn't a ton of challenges left domestically. I don't honestly have much desire to go to Europe. I don't want to direct a team in Europe full time. I don't want to live there. I want to live here. I want to grow U.S. cycling. I want to help the sport here with North American riders attending North American racing with North American sponsors. That's what I've always said, and I'd like to continue that. So with no desire to go to Europe, not too many goals left to accomplish here. That does play a role. For instance, a couple weeks ago, winning at Kirk O.B., winning the jersey at Downers Grove. Very exciting. But at the same time, that's the 6th jersey at Downers Grove I've been a part of. Yeah, you don't need to do it that many times. Let somebody else have some fun.
Sure. One last question. With Navigators looking like they're out of the scene next year, at least that sponsor's out. I know Ed Beeman's searching for another sponsor. We know Rock Racing is beefing up their roster. They've been talking to Freddie Rodriguez and Chris Horner. BMC clearly beefing up their roster. I mean, what do you see next year? It seems like it could be HealthNet will see its biggest challenges perhaps we've seen in the last 5 years.
Absolutely. Well, we've talked the last couple of years about more parity coming in when Toyota first started up, and then last year with BMC starting up, we kept saying there was going to be more parity, and it didn't always come through. Next year, I think there really is going to be. I think it's going to change the dynamics of domestic racing quite a bit. We won't have quite as much responsibility on our shoulders, which is actually nice, and it's going to change the racing. No longer are you going to see somebody come into a stage race like Tuna, win a time trial, and hold a jersey for 7 days, because I don't think any team's going to have the horsepower to sit on the front for 7 days and defend all the attackers. So it'll be exciting racing.
Yeah. All right, I lied. I do have one more question. Highlight over the years. It doesn't have to be a HealthNet highlight. It could be 7-Up. But in your tenure behind the wheel as team director, was there one race, one instance, one podium that really stands out as sort of the culmination of the entire program?
No, too many to name. Too many to name. Certainly, McCartney's solo win at Georgia was great. Leishman's second at San Francisco in his final race before retirement was exciting. Gord beating Cipollini at Tour de Georgia. So many.
What about sweeping Philly week? That was the one that came to mind for me.
Sweeping Philly, well, that wasn't any one race,
Sure.
I guess I didn't think of that. But that's certainly the achievement that I'd say stands out the most, because it's one of the few things we've accomplished that I think is going to take a long time for somebody to knock out of the record books. I mean, lots of people are going to win races that we've won, and lots of people are going to win NRC titles. But sweeping Philly week is something that had never been done, and it may be a while before it gets done again.
All right, Jeff. Well, thanks for the time. Thanks for all the rides in the team car over the years, and look forward to seeing you when I see you next.
All right. Thanks, Tim.